everybody, and welcome back to Trilby's Notes. I've been going through these games again, as you well know, mostly due to not knowing exactly how to balance the audio out in the first times I was recording this, and I felt that not having the audio properly just would not do the game's justice. So let's start again, shall we? The following documents are taken from the handwritten notes of Trilby, an STP field. Okay, we're just gonna rush right through this. Game over. That's what I thought as I stood and watched the foam manor collapse into flaming ash. The ordeal was over. Those 5 days cost us all so much. Philip and AJ paid with their lives. They were the fortunate ones. Jim Fowler was expelled from school for truancy, a bright future in tatters. Simone Taylor took to the bottle. Her broadcast became slurred, her eyes hollow and unwelcoming. She soon vanished from television screens. As for me, I tried to return to the life of a cat burglar, but I've been forever tainted by the time I've spent in that wretched house. The memories of my possession came back in my nightmares. Every night I was there again in the mansion, staring out through unfamiliar eyes as Philip died in my hands. I became convinced that John Defoe was not at rest, that someday he would return for me. I became so terrified of invisible enemies that I forgot about the tangible ones. Trilby caught, infamous thief captured. 2 miserable years after Defoe manner a barrage of Trinity blows taught me a harsh lesson in reality, and I woke up in the kind of filthy cell I assumed would be my new home. But then he came, the man from the government with his nervous smile offering an alternative. The STP, the Stone Temple Pilots, the Special Talent Project. It hadn't been that much earlier that I would have sooner died than enter an obligation with anyone, least of all the government. And the foam manor changed me so much. Whatever my reasons, I left my past behind and resolved to give my new superiors nothing to complain about. I spent a year and a half completing assignments, developing contacts, and building a reputation. And then the past caught up. In the summer of 1997, I became concerned about Simone Taylor's mental well-being. The papers were reporting her continual breakdown, and she had become a virtual recluse. I had no idea if my appearance would assist or hinder. I had, after all, deliberately allowed her to think me dead. Presumably she knew differently now after the media coverage of my arrest, but I would expect her to be bitter about my subterfuge. On balance, I decided that a meeting with an old friend would likely be beneficial. I came to her apartment building on a warm, stormy night and braced myself for the encounter. Look, self. I felt almost naked without my blazer, but it was impractical during the summer months. Look, doors. There were 2 entries to 2 apartments. Simone was the one on the right. Knock. I knocked sharply on Simone's door. Knock. Receiving no reply, I knocked again, louder. Knock. Still no response. The doorman had assured me Simone was in. I decided it was time to enter by my own methods. I reasoned that Simone could have been in trouble, and even if she wasn't, then at worst I was only playing to my reputation. I spent a few minutes feverishly picking the lock, then let myself in. Simone's bedroom light refused to turn on. I stood in pitch blackness, the intermediate flashes of lightning preventing my eyes from adjusting. open blinds. I pulled the blind. Look. Body. The body on the floor was undoubtedly Simone. I felt for a pulse, and my hands came away stained with long, cooled blood. My fingers traced the outline of a large wound in her torso, slashed by a big weapon wielded by a big assailant. I called for an ambulance, as futile as it would be, and left before they arrived. Due to me being a clear murder suspect, I was relieved from duty for the week it took for the Ministry of Occult to inspect the flat and confirm supernatural activity. My superior simultaneously apologized and assigned me to investigate if there was a connection to the Defoe Manor incident. Merely reading those 3 words capitalized in front of a loose leaf file brought the nightmares back with more intensity than ever. Sure enough, a field agent reported that looters had discovered and sold several artifacts from the mansion, including the wooden idol that housed John Defoe's soul. To my surprise, no murders had been reported or committed by anyone who had come into contact with the accursed trinket. I did not find this reassuring. I quickly advised James Fowler to go into hiding. He was stunned but agreed. The boy had sense and still respected my judgment. This done, I began following the idol's trail. From the pawn shop it had entered the possession of one Professor Abed Chahal, an authoritative historian. He had scheduled some kind of antique fair in the Clan Browen Hotel on a small island off the coast of Anglesey, popular with tourists. Assuming the role of a scholar of antiquities, I booked a room. On the 28th of July, 1997, I caught a ferry from that in Anglesey and arrived around 3 p.m. on Clansburn Island's coastal village. It seemed a peaceful hamlet, and in defiance of stereotype, the locals were welcoming and told me no local legends to dissuade me from exploring the island. The Clansburn Hotel was in the island's center, surrounded by forest. I made my way there on foot. You're Trilby, right? As soon as I arrived, I was greeted by a balding man in a gray anorak. I wondered if I was expected to know who he was. That depends. My name is Linkman. I'm with the Ministry of the Occult. Oh? I thought the Ministry were clear on the fact that I was handling this on my own. Maybe there are still people who don't trust you, Mr. Trilby. What? I haven't stolen anything since I joined the Stone Temple Pilots. Your colorful past is not what concerns my superiors. It hasn't gone unnoticed that your history with the Defoe wraith influences you psychologically. Yeah, I'm sure you resisted, but it still causes you to act irrationally, disobey orders. Everyone just feels a little safer with someone else on the ground. I see. You can rest assured that I will endeavor to maintain absolute professionalism on this assignment. Nevertheless, I have my orders. I would suggest we keep out of each other's way, then, and pursue separate investigations. I'm sure I don't want to get mixed up in a reunion. I watched him disappear around the corner of the building. I very much doubted that Linkman and I would become friends. The Clansburn lobby was a warm welcome. The building was certainly well maintained, yet there was something about it that nagged at the back of my mind, quickening my pulse. I dismissed the sensation, an act which, in retrospect, I would come to regret. Good evening, Terence Trilby. I have a reservation? Ah, yes, you're here for the antique fair? We've put you in room 3C on the 3rd floor, if you'd just like to sign the check-in book. The check-in book? Hello, Bethany. Just letting you know I'll be having dinner in my room today. That's absolutely fine, Professor. This, I decided, was what they called a golden opportunity. Professor Chahal. Yes? I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. Railby? Terence Railby. We met at Susby a few months ago? Oh, you don't remember me. No, no, of course I do. Terry Rilby, how have you been? The astute reader has already guessed that both Terence Rilby and the previous meeting were utter fiction. I had spent some time studying Chahal's movements and habits. He was, by all accounts, absent-minded, and that was something I could use. I'm well, thanks. I was hoping I'd run into you. I've heard interesting things about the items you're showcasing here. You remember I do freelance scouting for some wealthy collectors? Yes. Well, a client of mine has expressed an interest in some relics from Defoe Manor in Buckinghamshire. He's been on my back for a while about it. Between you and me, he seems pretty obsessed. What remained of Professor Chahal's suspicion melted away from his expression as the opportunity to make money entered the conversation. Well, I sure wouldn't want to damage your professional status. Would you like to come up to my room for drinks? Oh, I don't want to impose. No imposition at all. Please follow me. Your room key, Mr. Railby. Ah, thank you. Lead the way, Professor. A bed? Who's your friend? Oh, let me introduce you. This is my personal assistant. Oh, God. Saban? Saban, yes. She accompanies me on most... Saban, this is Mr. Railby, an old acquaintance. He's looking for information on Defoe Manor artifacts. Oh, really? Him and half the people we meet. What is it about that place? Never underestimate the attraction of a mystery, my dear. Please, take a seat, Terry. I'll be right with you. So, interested in ghost stories? The girl struck me as a forceful personality. I gave the matter some thought before replying. Not really. I'm just scouting on behalf of a client, like I told the professor. You know, it's strange to see someone as young as you in the antiques trade. Come to think of it, I thought only old men dressed like that. No offense meant. None taken. I didn't catch your last name. It's O'Malley. Saban O'Malley? Couldn't be more Irish if I tried, could it? Sorry to keep you waiting, dear boy. Now then, what shall we talk about? Ask a bed about manor. So I understand you came into possession of artifacts from Defoe Manor. Yes, indeed, and it was astonishing to me that such artifacts existed at all. The whole place burnt to the ground. Did you hear about the Defoe Manor incident? I was experiencing a sick feeling that I had not felt for quite some time. The last I had felt it was while standing at the gates of another county mansion not long after Defoe Manor preparing to break in. Recalling those 5 wretched days churned my stomach with fear, turning what had been the joy of thievery into an exercise in anxiety. Discussing it brought that feeling back, the act of feigning ignorance while visions of welding masks and machetes flooded my mind's eye, worsening them. I heard something on the news. And it's been on the news again lately since that Taylor woman died. A lot of silly talk about the paranormal has been abound, so the true facts are near unreachable. But the point is, some enterprising fellows picked up 1 or 2 undamaged items from the ruins. Furniture, books, an ugly little tribal figurine. And I took them off their hands purely out of curiosity, of course. So, were there any particular items your client is interested in? Ask a bed about idol. That's not what I asked. Tell me, does a huge man in a leather man... Yeah. Not really, should it? Never mind. It's a small African figurine that my client wants me to look into. Resembling a rather ugly tribal god. That old thing? Honestly, despite his age, it's virtually valueless. That's what I said, but my client is very insistent. He's interested in the paranormal, and the idol features in some more of the unlikely accounts of the Defoe Manor incident. Well, I don't suppose I should ask questions if this man of yours wants to take it off my hands. I don't have it on me right now. It's being kept in the hotel safe. Perhaps we can work out a deal after the fair. I had intended to display it with the other Defoe artifacts. Inwardly, I just wanted to get this mission completed as fast as possible, but I didn't want to risk suspicion or giving off the wrong impression. That will be fine. So, just out of interest, what else have you picked up from the mansion? Oh, odds and ends, basically. Some silverware and ceramics. Most of a burnt rocking chair. And the painting, of course. Painting? A landscape from a wall in the mansion's lounge. Of little artistic value, but the artist features prominently in Defoe Manor's colorful history. Matthew Defoe? That's him, yes. Bethan, she runs the hotel. She asked if she could display it in the lobby. Instantly I recalled that sick feeling I had felt in the lobby. I had seen the painting, but paid it little heed. Oh. Are you alright, Mr. Trilby? You've gone rather pale. What? Sorry, I was just distracted by my thoughts for a moment. Lost in history, eh? Something like that. Mr. Trilby? What the hell was that? What the hell was what? You were just sitting there, then you went all stiff like you'd seen a ghost. You didn't see it? See what, Mr. Trilby? I'm sorry, I have to go. Something's wrong. Oh, well, we won't keep you then. We'll see you later, maybe. My head was spinning and a sudden nausea churned in my gut. The world seemed to be pulsating, the corners of the room wavering like a heat haze. You may say that I imagine these things, and I thought that must have been the case. Was I going out of my mind? Was the hotel really changing into some nightmarish twin? Was I the only one who could see it? If I was hallucinating, it was too complex. The harsh wooden floor beneath my feet felt real enough. The horrid stench of rotting flesh that reached my nostrils could not have been conjured by my imagination. I decided that I had to find John Defoe's idol as soon as possible. If not that, at least the painting Chahal had mentioned. I was convinced that some connection lay between Defoe Manor and this sudden madness. Look, words. The graffiti read, "His body is here, his soul is not." I wondered if this was referring to John Defoe. Open door. Look, room. Blood splatters covered every wall and surface in the room as if someone had lost a fight with some horrible beast here. Metal tables and some kind of stone altar all showed evidence of recent slaughter. A mangled old sofa stood in one corner. Look, words. Blood was everywhere. On the north wall, it had been used to spell a word I could neither recognize nor pronounce. Look, table. Two steel tables were provided as some kind of work surface. Blood stains on a severed head were a strong indication for what kind of work they were intended for. Look, head. The head was too badly smashed and mangled to recognize. Look, altar. Where once had been a bed, there was now some kind of altar. Chains and manacles indicated that it was for sacrificial purposes. Look, sofa. The sofa was a rotting green color, and some kind of sharp weapon had created a slash across the fetid cushions. Look, window. Boards had been nailed onto the window both inside and outside. Hardly a speck of light made it through the blockage. Open door. Look, blood. Blood seemed to be running down the stairs as if someone had attempted to descend them while bleeding out with increasing speed. Hmm. Look. Words. Blood. Now, the words "bring her back" were spelt on the north wall for unknown reasons. Look, doll. It looked like some kind of porcelain mannequin, but with bits missing. I couldn't see how it was attached to the wall. Some things, my dear Trilby, are best left unknown. Look, words. I couldn't even begin to decipher the meaning of the words. Man? Not man? What the hell did it mean? Open door. The door was stuck shut. Open door. Look, room. My room had slipped into the shadow world. The walls and floor were filthy, and the furniture had been replaced with instruments of suffering. Look, words. I once more saw the strange word I had seen on the wall in my bedroom, this time followed by the words, "Love me." Look, altar. The blood-stained stone altar replaced the bed. Open door. Well, this seems to be, horrible. Yes, I'll go with that. Oh, I would if I could. Look, words. Graffiti read priest or prisoner, acolyte or slave. I had no idea who it could be referring to. It didn't sound like something John Defoe would inspire. Open door. Open door. The door was stuck shut. Indeed. I'm sorry I'm not talking much. The whispers tend to distract, because I keep trying to hear what they're saying. Something about dying. Oh God. Look, words. Blood seemed to be running down the stairs as if someone had attempted to descend them while bleeding out with increasing speed. The corpse had apparently spent his last few moments of life making graffiti. Was he responsible for all the messages I had seen so far? Look, corpse. The body was that of a young, muscular man, I hazarded, and was wearing some kind of old-fashioned military uniform, complete with blue tunic and riding boots. More to the point, his head was missing, and his hands were worn down to bloody wads of flesh and bone. I noticed a collection of handwritten pages on the floor near his body. Read pages. They appear to be entries from a diary. July 18th. Felicia and I took shelter from the storm in a decrepit old hotel in the forest. It seems to be completely deserted, so we bedded down for the night on the floor of the lobby for the night. It's so peaceful here. The noise of the storm seems far away. July 19th. Exploring the hotel, it is becoming increasingly clear that the place is not as innocent as it first appeared. We found ancient corpses and evidence of terrible deeds in several of the rooms. The storm is cleared and we intend to leave as soon as possible. July 20th. I am certain now that devilry is at work. Every path we take through the forest brings us back to the hotel. We spent a whole day trying routes to no avail. Felicia keeps talking of a demon she fancies she saw in the hotel kitchen last night. July 21st. Felicia is dead. I was too late to help her. I saw her murder just as she did. Perhaps I will be next. I am beginning to understand. July 23rd. The murderous figure in black, the one whose body is savagely stretched into a mockery of form, is not the architect of this nightmare. Rather, this is the work of that hideous Lord of Forbidden Lands. Gods forgive me. July 25th. I built a shrine to my captor in the lobby in an attempt to appease it. Nothing has changed. I have no more food. The horror is starting to affect my mind. July 28th. I am certain my mind is going. I imagined for a moment that the hotel had changed, had become finely decorated and welcoming as it must have once been in the past. I blinked and it returned to its normal, hateful self. The next few pages were sprinkled with blood, obscuring some of the text. August 1st. What is his relationship to that disgusting beast? Is he a servant or a prisoner? Sometimes he acts alone, sometimes at the behest of higher power. What do he want from me? August 3rd. He is after me now. I think I have done something wrong. August 4th. Turts. That was the last readable entry. I decided not to take them with me. They were covered in blood and all stuck together. I'm sure you guys could read what it says properly on your own. The lobby, too, had become tainted. And the painting I sought was absent. Presumably it only existed in the hotel's normal form. If that was the case, I needed to find a way back there or dispel the hallucination if this truly was all in my mind. At this stage I was beginning to wonder if this really was all John Defoe's doing. It didn't seem his style somehow. But what other evil could possibly be the culprit? Look, altar. There's some kind of waist-high stone altar on which some poor wretch had underwent some kind of sacrificial ritual. Look, corpse. Someone had been tied down to the altar, flayed, and had their innards removed. By the looks of the horrible claw marks and broken fingernails, they had been alive at least part way into the procedure. Look, wall. A pentagram had been scrawled on the north wall, and a cow's skull had been nailed in place over it. It seems to be an offering of some kind. Look, holes. No, look, pigeon holes. Look, room. The entrance of the alternate Clan Brahmin Hotel at least retained the basic shape of a lobby, in that the pigeonholes remained and an altar about the right size and shape of a reception counter. Look, pigeonholes. Some of the pigeonholes contained disembodied organs and entrails, which presumably belonged inside the creature on the altar. Open door. The office door was locked. Pick lock. I had encountered far stronger locks in my time. I picked it open within 10 minutes. Look, room. The room was tiny, and the absence of ventilation made the air very stuffy and thick. The only features were a safe and a table. Look, walls. I could somewhat sympathize with the clandestine graffiti artist. Look, table. It was a rickety metal table with nothing on it save the prerequisite blood spots. Look, safe. It almost looked like some creature had exploded inside the safe, and the blood had shot out through the cracks around the door. Crack safe. Crack sage. Jimmy crack corn. The door appeared to be jammed shut. This came as something of a relief. posters. The left poster was some kind of portrait of the strange masked figure I had glimpsed in the hotel. The middle poster was blank and the third was smashed. Look room. Perhaps the alternative hotel bar had been like the real one at some point in the past, but it had long since fallen into disarray and appeared to have been used for very sinister purposes. Look bar. In keeping with the alternate hotel's theme, the furniture looked like someone had been hurled against them with absolutely fatal force. Lying on the bar in a pool of gore was a pair of long-nosed pliers. Look pliers. I wondered as to their purpose here, then decided I didn't want to consider it. Take pliers. They were rusty but functional. I took them with me. Look, blood. Look, arcade. It appeared to be damaged, with the front plate ajar and frayed wires emerging from the rear. Strangely, though, the screen was active and flashing blankly. Open door. Look words. The words "it feeds" were inexplicably spelled out on the north wall in the prerequisite bloody letters. Look room. It had probably once been a dining room, judging by the number of tables. There were a total of 4 exits to the adjoining rooms. Look tables. The tables were universally hidden under tablecloths, yellowed and stinking with age. There was a plate of rancid meat on the center, adding its evil stench to the air. Look meat. There was a raven of uncooked meat with ribs sticking out on the center of the table that seemed to be attracting insects beautifully. I tried not to think about what kind of meat it was. Look flies. The flies seemed to be fatter and proportioned differently from normal as far as I could tell. Swat flies. Kill flies. Even if I could have caught one, I doubt that it would have helped matters. Take meat. I tore off a lump of meat to take with me. If I came up against anything hostile and carnivorous in this place, it would help to have something other than myself to offer it. Look body. The body had been completely flayed and still glistened wetly with blood. The hands and one of the feet were held in place around the door with 6-inch nails. Remove nails with pliers. The pliers were ideal for removing the nails. Hello, sir. Open door. Look room. Look room! The gloomy lavatories were in a state of advanced disrepair. One of the cubicle doors was hanging off its hinges, and the mirror above the counter was broken. Look words. Blood flowed from one of the sinks and one of the toilets, indicating some hideous presence in the plumbing system. Look counter. The counter had 2 sinks and was covered in filth and mold. To my surprise, a brand new sealed envelope was sitting between the basins. Look toilets. Look toilets? None of the toilets appeared to be functional. One of them was overflowing blood, which left me disinclined to investigate the others. Take envelope. Baffled, I took the envelope. It was strangely bulky, and tore it open. A white pill bottle and a note fell into my hand. I here enclose the note with this report. Trilby, if you're reading this, then you too have seen the hotel change. At present, I have no idea if the alternate hotel is part of the ethereal realm or some kind of construct, a pocket dimension. There is a definite correlation between one's levels of agitation and one's tendency to reality shift. Fear is your enemy. It leaves you like a shining beacon for whatever evil brought us to this place. Enclosed is a bottle of tranquilizers from my personal first aid kit. When you find yourself shifting into the other place, take a pill and try to calm down, and the real hotel will return. Do not let it concern you. I am researching the phenomenon. Your task is to find Defoe. Good luck, Agent Linkman. Linkman's letter raised more questions than it answered. I pocketed the pill bottle. Look, pills. It seemed like a perfectly ordinary childproof bottle of medical-grade tranquilizer pills. A prominent, brightly colored label read, "Warning. Some users may experience drowsiness and/or hallucinations. Take pill." Hesitantly, I tipped the tranquilizer into my palm and swallowed it without water. It quickly took effect. I felt the anxiety lift from the pit of my stomach, and my dismal surroundings seemed to feel less imposing. Then I felt that strange sensation again, of lightheadedness and detachment as the world around me began to quiver. Oh, thank God. Blues. One. Save again. Blues. 2. Okay, so I am the Blues 32. This is Trilby's notes. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.